by not making a decision, you are actually making a decision to stay where you are. Hey guys, welcome to the Painter's Circle, where we help painting business owners scale their operations, increase profitability, and gain more time freedom. I'm Taz Mullis, and in this podcast, I'll share actionable tips, expert strategies, and real-world insights that'll help you grow your painting business without burning you out. Ready to take your painting business to the next level? Let's go. Oh yeah! So I joined the family business in 1996, did my apprenticeship, learned the trade, the next 4 years. And then we got to 2020 and I was really keen to get involved in the business parts of that business. I wanted to get involved in quoting and pricing and how do we work out products and leaders and production and all those areas. I was really hungry on becoming better at this thing called business and becoming a better painter. So through 2000 and 2002, I did a deep dive in learning as much as I could from other people and people in my network. If you go way back when, there was no such things as Facebook groups or communities or business coaches, places where painters could talk about what's working and what's not working in their business. If anything, it was very secretive. Everyone was holding their cards too closely. No one was sharing. If you were in the paint shop and you asked the question like, hey guys, this is what I'm doing, what's working for you, you pretty much get shut down. But you couldn't actually get a conversation, and it was very hard for me to build relationships with other painting business owners because people didn't like sharing. It was like a very secret society, which is really, really odd to me. Now, by 2002, 2003, I burnt out for the first time because I was doing 80 plus hours per week. I had this theory and decision that I'm going to outwork everyone. So I was just going to work more, as much as I could, as many hours as I could. I did make a lot of money, but I was burning out. If you worked out the hours I was putting in, I was actually making less per hour than the people that I was working with because I was doing twice, almost 2.5 times more hours per week at the same weekly pay. So it just wasn't working, but I burnt out. On top of that, I burnt out, was making money, but I actually lost money significantly, like 6 figures in that first between 2000 and 2002. And I had this realization that working harder at this thing wasn't working. I was burning out and I was actually going backwards financially. I sat down with my new accountant at the time and said to Tony, mate, this is not working. I want you to help me understand my numbers. I want you to help me understand what am I doing wrong, because I don't have a problem with working hard, long, more hours, but I have a problem with going backwards because I'm doing it. So I'm missing something. So hard work isn't the problem. There's something else that's the problem. So he helped me start understanding the basics around the financial metrics of a painting business. I said, I'm going to continue working hard on these things, but you're going to teach me how to understand about pricing, performance, financials, and the important metrics of running or building a business or a busyness that makes money. So we continued. And then we got to 2004, where we took some financial literacy with work ethic. And yes, we did pretty well, but I couldn't keep that up. I looked at how hard I was working and I projected 40 years in the future. And I went, I can't do this for another 30, 40 years. I will burn out multiple times. So I needed another strategy. So someone called me up and talked about this thing called business coaching. And they set up a phone conversation with the business coach. And I said, yep, I definitely need a hand because there's something that I'm doing wrong that isn't working. So I had a conversation with this gentleman, Matthew Campbell. He was my very first business coach in 2004. And it was the first time that someone helped me start thinking about other areas of business, not just painting and not just financials, particularly around sales and marketing. I clearly remember he gave me a book. It's a great book about business. Now, I don't remember reading a book cover to cover in high school, let alone after high school, reading a book cover to cover. I was stuck in this book on how it broke down exactly how to build a process-driven business, how to build a system, and how I was trapped in the entrepreneurial seizure, meaning I was focusing on becoming the better painter. And I was stuck in this trap of focusing on better painting. Fast forward from there, we started to get better. I started to understand that, doing 80 hours a week, 98 hours a week just on operational activities, and started getting my time back and going, you know what? I have to do that because I'm still on the tools. I'm still running the guys. I'm still running the paints. I'm still doing the quotes, the jobs, the data entry, payroll. I'm still running everything, but I'm going to set some time aside in my week on building processes. How do I do payroll? How do we do quotes? How do we build proposals? How do we build job sheets? Like mapping it out exactly, sheet by sheet. I taught myself Microsoft Word and Excel. How do I build these processes, screenshots and pictures, where I eventually had manuals on how to do payroll, how to do quotes. Just flip the pages, follow the instructions, look at the screenshot, and built that out. But over that time, it taught me a lot of things about building processes and overall building a system, something that I could get someone to come in and do those tasks without me. And we went through that journey and business got better. I was still doing 60, 70, 80 hours a week because this is pre-kids. And although I wasn't burning out, I was still working too many hours on the areas that wasn't actually moving the needle in the business, because I was building step-by-step guides of how we do everything in this business. I fast forward to 2008 and I'm doing 70, 80 hours a week, still working too many hours. I'm micromanaging everything still. I built these processes, manuals, workbooks that I haven't actually let go of. Like I said, I'm still micromanaging everything in the business because I had this theory that no one else is going to do this thing better than me. Because no one else can do this. I can't trust them to do this, so I better do it myself. I was trapped in this loop of me, potentially you in your business, being the bottleneck because every decision came through me. Every action came through me. Like I was the only person in the history of the world that could do any of these things. And I was trapped in that belief system and that pattern. But on May 30th, 2008, forever changed the way I thought of business. You booked out, you're absolutely flat out, and you're not sure if you made money last month. The real problem is you think you're not working hard enough. Most painters feel like by working harder, doing more hours, doing more jobs, doing more marketing, grinding a bit harder, they're going to fix that problem. It's never about working harder, it's about working smarter. And you're never going to outwork a poor visibility problem. Painter OS Accelerator is built to end the guessing. It is a target hitting program. It's an ecosystem for business owners to come into to ensure, one, they've set the right targets for their business, and two, show them how to hit those targets. One thing I know to be true, having coached hundreds and hundreds of painting business owners, once we're able to give the right information at the right time to that business owner, they typically know what to do. This fills that gap. The number one thing we want to help business owners is having predictable and consistent revenue and run profitable businesses. We have a tool called Tradie Pipeline. Its primary purpose is to show you and teach you what are the targets that are right for you, how far off target you are, and showing you in advance your production capacity for the months or weeks ahead. We've coupled it with Painter Coach AI, which is like having a coach in your back pocket that can read that data and help you identify what is the next right move for you. And thirdly, there's the support. There's 90 days of onboarding support plus a community. This is not coaching, this is not a CRM, and this is not job management. This is an execution ecosystem where you go from being unaware of what you're doing to being crystal clear of what the targets are for you and your business and how to hit those targets, because I'm more interested in, are you moving towards those targets? When is it ready? It's ready now. If this is important to you, making money, better revenue, consistent profits, Painter OS Accelerator could be the right tool for you. Now back to the podcast. In May 30th, 2008, our daughter Stella was born. The unique thing about Stella being born is not that she's just an amazing person, is that she was born 15 weeks early. That's 3.5 months early she was born, which is bloody scary. So overnight, my focus, what was important to me, what my intention was, what my number one very existence on this planet did not focus around business. It focused around being there in the hospital with her and my family. And overnight, instantly, I made a decision. Now, this decision could have been made any time in the previous 4 years, but I made a decision that this business must be able to run predominantly without me, not immediately 100% from day dot without me, but this business needs to serve me and my family, not the other way around. Otherwise, what is the point? I'm just sharing that with you because I realized that I didn't need a potentially catastrophic event to come to that conclusion. I just needed to make a decision. Last week, Stella turned 18. She's amazing. She turned into an amazing young woman. But 18 years ago, I was trapped in being the micromanager and the bottleneck, believing and thinking that only I could do the thing or only I could answer the thing. So every question, every problem, every action came through me. And then that very day, things changed. The only thing that changed is I made a decision that I wouldn't do that anymore. And I'm sharing that with you because potentially in your business, what decisions are you not making that are holding you back? Well, the reality is, if you don't make a decision, you're making a decision to stay where you are. And that's exactly what I learned for myself. I didn't make the decision to recruit and delegate the task to someone else in the business, even though I had a step-by-step process of how to do it, that if they just followed it, they would get the task done. I made a decision to stay and think and wait until the right time. Guess what? It's never the right time, ever. I want you to understand, you don't need a catastrophic thing to happen to make a decision. Making a decision is just on you, similar to just calling the shot. You just make the decision, call the shot, and execute. What you will find is a reason why it worked or a reason why it didn't work. And you guess what you're going to do? You're going to make another decision. Anyway, stay cool, be well, as usual. See you in the trips. Bye. Hey guys, if you got value from today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss expert tips. If you want some support, check out the link in the show notes and see how we can help you. Don't forget to follow us on socials @PainterCoach. Stay cool, be well, and as usual, see you in the interwebs. Bye.